Welcome! Today we're going to talk about this awesome 2015 Tesla Model S 85D that we have for sale. One awesome battery electric vehicle, one awesome luxury sedan. So the 85 stands for the size of the battery. It's an 85 kilowatt battery. You can see some of the earlier Model S's with a battery as small as 60 kilowatts. We've seen 90 and even 100Ds. Now they just have a regular Model S and a Model S Plaid. So they've kind of simplified the model line with the brand new ones. You would kind of compare this not to the Model S Plaid, but just to the regular Model S. So having dual electric motors, that's what the D stands for, means that there's a motor in the front and the motor in the back, making it very quick. It's like having two engines. This is not a performance version. If it had a performance, if this is the performance version, it would have a P. But we're going to take this for a spin around the block, and I'll show you, even though this is not a performance, it's still very fast. It's faster than a lot of similar gas vehicles in this segment. So the Model S, if you're looking for a nice pre-owned luxury vehicle with completely electric power, the Model S is a great choice. And I've had some people ridicule me on my YouTube videos on some of the other Model S's, the older Model S's, saying, you know, it's bad advice to tell someone to buy a used Model S. You know, what if the battery goes bad? What if things go wrong? Well, you know, a lot of things can go wrong with a gas car. It might be bad advice if I tell someone, hey, if you want a really reliable car, instead of buying a newer Toyota Corolla, buy this Model S instead. But some people don't want a Toyota Corolla, and some people can't afford to spend $70,000 or $75,000 on a new Model S, so looking at a pre-owned one. Or maybe they're considering a luxury sedan in general. So maybe compared to a Corolla, this might not be, you know, more cost effective for maintenance and repairs and stuff like that. But, you know, some people might even be able to argue that point because the ownership costs and maintenance is pretty low on this thing to begin with. But, you know, this is a 2015. If we compare this to a similar luxury vehicle like an E-Class Mercedes, 5 Series BMW, or a Jaguar, you know, with a gas engine, this could, you know, between what you save on gas and maintenance, this could definitely be a very compelling case. Obviously, one of the biggest potential repair costs on an out-of-warranty electric vehicle is replacing the high-voltage battery. And it does happen from time to time, but guess what? The Model S has been out for a very long time, and there's many high-mileage examples out there. You can even visit this website called the Tesla High Mileage Club, where recently, I think it was a 2018 Model S, sold over 350,000 miles, and it still had 90% of the battery capacity left. There are Model S's of 400. There's even one with 1 million miles on it. That one I think had the battery replaced once or twice. But it goes to show you that, you know, these Model S's, you know, they can go well past 100,000 and well past 200,000. I'm in the car business. I see cars come in trade of all sorts all the time. I'm the used car manager, and I can tell you with gas cars, I've seen some pretty old and tired used cars, and I very rarely see any of over 200,000 miles on them. The thing of an electric vehicle is it only has dozens of moving parts, where a gas car has thousands of moving parts. You can have oil leaks. I recently had this Audi that had 3 different oil leaks. It would have been $6,000 or $7,000 to fix them all, so we sent that one to the auction. One of the biggest ones was when I think the rear main seal was leaking or something like that. It was $3,000 to fix that. That's stuff that you're not going to have to deal with on an electric vehicle. Obviously, the battery can go bad, and you might have to replace it, but you know, the cost of replacing a battery is probably comparable to what it would be cost to replace an engine in a fancy BMW or Mercedes. And Tesla does offer refurbished batteries as well. Recently, this gentleman I was watching a video about, he had a Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus where the battery went bad, and Tesla replaced it with a refurbished battery for $9,000. This one's a little bit bigger, so it'd probably be a little bit more than that, but it goes to show you that, you know, it might not cost $20,000 or $30,000 to replace the battery if you can get a refurbished one. And it's not just Tesla. There's actually, since there's so many Teslas now, there's a growing industry of companies that will refurbish or replace batteries on Teslas. You know, just like there's, you know, you don't have to go to BMW, you can go to a, you know, independent service department or an independent shop to work on your, you know, out of warranty BMW and stuff like that, or replace it with a remanufactured engine. That's starting to be the case with Tesla. I mean, they sold 500,000 Teslas so far this year in 2023 in North America. So there's a big aftermarket, there's a big industry growing up for repair, because these new Teslas, those 500,000 new Teslas, are going to be on the used market for a very long time. And one of the number one recycled things in the world is cars. So we're going to see probably a lot more, you know, alternatives for repairs on Teslas aside from just going to Tesla. Okay, so this is the Western information screen we have here. We have highway autopilot. Highway autopilot is a little bit different than the basic autopilot you get on brand new Teslas. Pretty much on new Teslas you have basic autopilot, you have enhanced autopilot, and full self-driving. Highway autopilot is kind of a mix of all of them. So highway autopilot allows the vehicle to brake and accelerate and steer in its own lane, and when you turn on the turn signals, it will do a lane change. I'll show you that when we go for a little drive. And it also has a summon feature as well, so you can pull the vehicle forward or backwards in and out of its parking space if it's a tight squeeze for you to get in and out, make it a little bit easier. You can pull it out of your garage or pull it into your garage. Pretty cool stuff, right with the Tesla app. This one only has 21,480 miles, very low mileage for a 2015. And even though this is an older screen, it still functions fairly well. Nice crisp display. You have these nice Google Maps. You can also do an illustrated view. You also have an internet browser. You have some arcade games you can play as well. Then you have the silly thing like the whoopee cushion. And you know, the Model S compared to the Model 3, I have a Model 3 myself. The Model S has a little bit more pizzazz. It has a little bit more of a premium luxury car feel. I mean, looking at the leather and stitching and suede in the dashboard, the wood trim, you have another screen here, where the interior in the Model 3 and Y is fairly sparse. I like it, but you know, some people don't like the Model 3 or Y because it's too basic. So, you know, the S-Class would be a great alternative if you find those to be a little bit too basic. It's not the case. The interior in this thing's absolutely beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful job. And this thing wasn't cheap. This was probably close to $100,000 when it was brand new. Nice leather interior. We have a moonroof, and this is actually a moonroof that opens. Tesla completely did away with opening moonroofs. They just switched to glass roof panels on Teslas. I think 2017 or 18 was the last, I think 17 I think was the last year you get an opening moonroof on a Tesla. Now you just have a glass roof panel. Tesla says that there wasn't enough people actually opening their sunroofs. They can see the data, not enough owners in there opening their sunroofs to warrant the cost of putting them in there. But some people do like sunroofs that open, so if you want that on your Tesla, you're gonna have to look at an earlier one like this. Then we also have the adjustable air suspension, which was really nice, giving this thing a great ride. We have a power adjustable steering wheel. This has the premium upgrade package, so we have a lot of great features. I think it has an integrated universal garage door opener. Great sounding audio system. So smooth, so quiet. All right, let's keep this video rolling along. I tend to ramble on about these Teslas. This one's in beautiful shape inside and out, clean Carfax vehicle. It has a wrap on the hood and the trunk, so if you don't like it, you can take the wrap off and just have the original red color. We thought it looked cool, so we just decided to leave it on, but you can see it's pretty easily removable. Here, since there's no engine here, you have a frunk, which is extra cargo space, and a safety feature because you have a crumple zone 60% larger than a gas car since there's no engine there. The looks and the lines of the S is absolutely beautiful. They haven't really moved away, even to the brand new 2023 Model S's. They haven't really diverted too much from the original design. This original design is absolutely beautiful. It's a timeless design. It's aged very gracefully. And you know, I think we'll probably see this design to hang around for a little while yet. And back then, when the Model S first came out, it had one of the lowest drag coefficients out of any production vehicle. Even a lower drag coefficient than the Chevy Volt and the Nissan Leaf. And we could probably argue that the Model S is a little bit better looking than the Leaf and the Chevy Volt. But, you know, everyone has the right to their own opinion. Decent sized amount of interior room back here. Nice comfortable place to be, whether in the front or the back. Also have a very large trunk area here. The nice thing about the S, even though it has a sedan profile, it does have a lift back, which makes it more practical. You can fold down those seats for more cargo space. Just gives you a little bit more practicality and space with a lift back versus just a regular trunk, and there's more storage under there. And then we have the charging cable right there. All right, let's get behind the wheel and take this beautiful Model S 85D out for a spin. So one of the first things that you'll notice when you get behind an electric vehicle and you start driving it is just how smooth and quiet it is, and how linear the power delivery is. This thing is just so smooth. You don't feel any vibrations from an engine. You can take the smoothest engine in the world, but you're gonna still feel it a little bit. You don't feel anything Well, this thing is completely smooth. You can hear a little bit of the whine of the electric motors, which sometimes is cool. And then, you know, there's no transmission, just one gear. So you don't feel the shift shock. You don't feel the shock of changing gears. You just put your foot in the throttle, and this thing's like a slot car. It just takes right off. You know, the roll-on acceleration of a vehicle, an electric vehicle, is a lot better than a gas car, because with roll-on acceleration, all of a sudden you want to accelerate really fast. You know, you step on the gas, there's a moment of hesitation while the engine thinks where to rev, what gear to put it in. Where with an electric vehicle, you just hit the throttle and it just takes off, no hesitation at all. The throttle response on an electric vehicle is superior to a gas car. You just have instantaneous throttle response. There are some Teslas that have what we call LFP batteries, which stands for lithium iron phosphate, which is a more cost-effective battery technology that doesn't require rare exotic materials like cobalt. There's a lot of controversy about cobalt mining in like Africa. Well, there's a lot of press about cobalt mining and child labor and stuff like that. So with LFP batteries, since they don't require cobalt, that takes the worry out of you know, having a vehicle with a battery like that. But batteries are kind of like engines in cars. So you have the LFP batteries that they kind of put in the more basic Teslas. LFP batteries are cheaper to produce, but they're not as energy dense as lithium ion batteries. So the LFP batteries, you could kind of equate it to kind of like the economy engine, you know, the base engine. The lithium ion batteries are kind of what we call the performance engine, or the performance battery. So most of the high performance Teslas you're going to find, or any high performance EV, are going to have lithium ion batteries, because they can release the electrons a lot faster and dump them into the batteries a lot faster than LFP batteries. So generally that equates into much better acceleration and performance. But the perk, and LFP batteries weigh more, so they can't hold as much electricity for their size as a lithium ion battery. So you'll see that a comparable Model 3 with a LFP battery versus a lithium ion battery is usually a couple hundred pounds heavier. And when you have an electric vehicle, weight is your enemy. But the one perk about LFP batteries is that they do like to be charged to 100% every day. Lithium ion batteries are the opposite. It's okay to charge them to 100% every once in a while for a road trip, but for daily use, Tesla recommends that you charge them to 80% just for a longer life out of your batteries. All right, we'll get a little break in the traffic and test out the acceleration. All right, so I'm gonna pop in this lane over here, and I'm gonna nail the throttle. All right, as you can see, no issue at all getting up to the speed limit. Slow down a little bit. The roll-on acceleration is amazing, so I slow down a little bit, and if I was in a gas car hitting the throttle, there'd be a momentary hesitation for the transmission to downshift, the engine to rev. You just hit the throttle in this thing, and it takes off. All right. Let's talk about one of the other great perks about this Tesla is the autopilot, which is the traffic-aware cruise control. So there's a lever right here in the older Model S is a little bit different with the newer ones. It's kind of like Mercedes-Benz cruise control knob, pretty much the same thing. So I'm going to pull it towards me twice, and now it means that we're in autopilot. So the vehicle is braking, accelerating, and steering in its own lane. There are limitations to this thing. It's not full self-driving. You have to pay attention. If there's a red light up here, it's not going to stop for the red light. Of course it's going to stop for the cars in front of the red light, and it's not going to stop for stop signs. But you know, if you're in stop and go traffic on the highway, you can get a lot of mileage off this autopilot. So Tesla wants you to keep your hand in the wheel. Every once in a while it'll give you what we call a nag. It'll say, hey, if you don't keep your wheel in the wheel or feel it, it'll tell you, hey, jiggle the wheel a little bit, show me that you're paying attention. All those people getting in the traffic accidents and crashing into things, like crashing the police cars on the side of the road, well, you know, they're trying to sue Tesla, but, you know, if they were paying attention, obviously you'd stop the car to avoid the collision. You're not going to be, oh, yeah, I'm sure the car will stop as you're about to plow into a police car at 60 miles an hour. No, most people who are paying attention are going to intervene well before that. So if they're not paying attention, just like a car with regular cruise control, if you're not paying attention or you fall asleep, the car is just going to keep on going until it drives off the road or hits something. So this autopilot works great. I use it all the time. In fact, you're going to probably get spoiled by this amazing autopilot. It just makes your life so much easier, and you just have to get comfortable with it. You know its limitations. People are nervous at first, you know, because some people are control freaks. They won't let they don't want to give up so much control of driving, but it works great. And then you can also put the turn signal on and change lanes. So that's something that you don't get with the newer autopilot, the new basic autopilot. You'd have to get the enhanced autopilot or full self-driving to have the auto lane change. But yeah, you just put the turn signal on and boom, look at that. It changes lanes. Yeah, beautiful, smooth, wonderful electric luxury sedan. Autopilot is going to make your life so much easier. And if you compare this to a gas luxury car, your maintenance costs are going to be far less expensive. We've sold hundreds of Teslas. I've done a lot of big repairs and small repairs on the Model S. Recently, we actually just had to replace the pop-out door handle. That's a common thing to fail on these. And Tesla sent a mobile repair person to our dealership. I didn't have to take it to Tesla, and they came and replaced it for under $400. I think if a BMW or a Mercedes had a pop-out door panel, I think it might cost more than $400 to replace. It could cost thousands, but that's just speculation. Well, there we have it. A little drive, a little walk around on this 2015 Model S 85D. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully it was informative, regardless if you're interested in this Tesla or just for information in general. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon, and have a wonderful day.